Hey everyone, hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if the audio sounds good and everything's working well. Welcome to a very impromptu live stream. I kind of decided to do this like a day or so beforehand. I really need to plan my live streams better, but I definitely wanted to make the release a live stream and then I'll do a YouTube video this week or today or something like that, just so people who can't catch this maybe have a better video. So hopefully the audio is okay. Hopefully everything's working good. Thanks, Oliver. Appreciate it. I'm going to just wait a couple minutes before I switch the camera on and kind of show everyone. Definitely some people have already seen a teaser on Patreon for this. I've kept this printer very, very secret. I've been working on it probably for 2 months, I think, in my spare time. And I was inspired by a printer and a couple things that I wanted to try. So I wanted to really just start working on this printer right away. Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. No Rook 500 millimeter, unfortunately. Thank you very much. Hey Nick. This is a high performance printer for sure, Aaron. Unfortunately, no Delta. No Delta yet. It is relatively affordable. It's more expensive than a Rook, though. Yeah, Raph, I'm just waiting for a couple people to get in here. Just giving people a couple minutes, and then I'll flip the camera on for you. I wish it was a Rook all-wheel drive Delta. That'd be pretty awesome. That'd be pretty awesome for sure. Alrighty, so let's turn the camera on and I'm gonna just let it sit for a little bit. I don't know if maybe should zoom out just a touch. So, a lot of reasons why I wanted to make this printer. Hopefully everyone's kind of checking it out. Hey Canrog, welcome, welcome. Hey Geometer FEV, welcome. 57 viewers already. Wow, that's awesome. So this is Panda Mini. This is a small, compact version of my Panda printer. It's very, very space conscious. This is basically the same size as a V0. So I think it's like 2 millimeters wider. Like it's essentially the same size as a V0. However, the build area is 140 by 140 and the Z is around 120. It uses V wheels for the Z. Yeah, this is a high performance printer, Josh, and I don't know if the Mini's meant to take on Bambu Lab, but the full-size version will be for sure. This is dual lead screw with V-wheels. So we can see V-wheels here for the Z. This is something I've wanted to do for a very long time, even when I was making Simple Core. I wanted to try V-wheels on the Z-axis. It's using linear rods, just like Bambu is, and then one MGN 9C for X. So there's only one linear rail on this whole printer. The bill of materials, very rough bill of materials, is $450 US. It's obviously more money than a Rook. It's much faster than a Rook, and it's way higher performance than a Rook. It's also fully enclosed. You can see I have all the panels. So this is fully enclosable. This has dual 120 millimeter fans on both sides. The cooling performance of this printer is insane out of the box. I have designed this printer to make sure it was very fast, had excellent layer cooling, and could be easily buildable. So I'll show you, I have the other side fully enclosed, of course. This is 100% enclosed. Let the camera focus there. Kyle, the V-wheels on Z are perfect. Probably the best use of V-wheels on a Z, because the Z doesn't move fast, and the Z is now very constrained and works very well. So I'm still dialing the printer in, and the reason why I'm using V-wheels is this is inspired from the original Rook. The frame is the Z, right? The V slot extrusion is the Z, just like the Rook. This Z is so smooth, it's incredible. And if your frame is square, your Z is square. This can be definitely scalable. The bed would have to change, of course. However, you can just basically change the length of the rods. Not much else would need to be modified. You do have to change the cooling ducts on the side, of course, because of the bigger bed. But yeah, and Kyle, I agree with you. I'm not going to use V-wheels for X or Y, but the Z doesn't move fast enough for there to be any issues with V-wheels. So I just wanted to use V-wheels for a Z, and they work really well. Yeah, this is kind of my final small printer, right? Like this is I wanted to design kind of a last, for now at least, a last compact, really small printer. So Meanwell 200 on the back. I'll move my camera down a bit here. So you can see the Meanwell 200 fits right in the bottom here. And then on the back of the printer is the SKR Mini E3. I'll try to rotate the printer so you can kind of get a better look. You didn't have to do that, Majaro. You could have definitely watched the stream after. So I'll try to turn this around just so you can see this a little bit better. It's nothing special on the back. Of course, my typical wiring. We have our power inlet here, which is recessed into the panel. We have our power button and then our main board here. And there are cutouts in the back panel to pass wires and stuff through. Hey, the Print House, welcome. 83 viewers, wow. Thanks everyone for tuning in to my high performance compact printer. I will release the Printables page. Just give me 1 second here and let's get that released. Because the printer is ready to go. Please note, this is a beta. If you want to make this printer, I would appreciate you DMing me on Discord with anything that you found. Hey everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. Let's just get rid of that. So let me put the link for this printer in I gotta choose my license here really quickly. Publish this so you guys can check it out. You can see the bomb and all that kind of stuff. So give me 1 moment here. Yeah, spaghetti wiring, Rollo style. Okay, so let me post this here and pin it. All right, so I've just pinned the Printables page. So again, this is a beta. The bill of materials is a beta. I have bought everything off of Amazon, but I made a bill of materials with equivalent parts on AliExpress. You can choose Amazon or AliExpress if you want. However, I do, like I say, I would love feedback. So if you want to build this printer, please DM me on Discord. Send me, what your findings and that type of thing. I have went through all the STL files and I've oriented them so that they are in the right printing orientation. So all the files should be in the correct printing orientation. Flip this back around here. And yes, this does use two 120 millimeter fans for cooling. You can see the cooling right there on one side. The other side is just printing. Nick, yes. Full-size Panda will be black and white. The 250 by 250 version of this printer will be black and white for sure. I thought about that definitely. And yeah, red Panda would be really awesome actually. Last small printer, I'm going to be focusing on my larger printers like Defiant and also full-size Panda. Yes, this does support the Bambu Hotend by default. It's actually the only Hotend that is supported out of the box. I'm sure there will be other mods and stuff like that. Yes, sorry, I will export the step file here shortly. I'm just cleaning up some names and things like that on the step, and I will include that on Printables for sure. The Bambu X1 Hotend is the absolute cheapest high-performance hotend you can get, period. Pretty much all my new designs coming out are going to use the Bambu Hotend. The full-size Panda will use Dragon Burner toolhead so that people have more options. However, for space constraints and stuff like that, this tool head is custom and it just supports the Bambu one. However, like I say, you should easily be able to modify the tool head to support others. But I mean, this is an X1 Hotend. They're $30. This is a super high flow all metal hotend for $30 Canadian. It's insane small, and Bambu has warehouses all over the world, super fast shipping and cheap. Really, this is the best option. Ali now sells versions of these too. I use the genuine Bambu hotends, but the Ali one will work just fine. The Aaron, the extruder, is the VZ Hextrudort. My absolute favorite extruder. This is an amazing extruder, super high quality. I get absolute amazing prints with this. Those are for other electronics projects, those batteries in the background. The X1 Hotend, I'm running at 30 millimeters squared flow right now with no issues. The Bambu Hotend is very, for the money, it's incredibly high flow for the price. Yeah, this printer's tiny, and it's 140 by 140. Yeah, honestly, I have not found anything for the price that can beat the X1 Hotend. But we can kick off a print here. Let me just, and my table is really, really wobbly, so just be aware of that. Rough price is $450 US, depending on where you buy stuff, if you have stuff already. Yeah, it's fully clean on the front. There will be a door, of course. The top panel does come out. It's magnetic. There's an acrylic window on the top. Yeah, we'll start a print and we'll we'll do some printing here. So give me a second and let's see what we can do here with a print. So we're going to choose a benchy. So this printer is running at 20,000 acceleration right now and 250 millimeters a second for pretty much most of the print. I'm just going to bump up some things here. And let's go into yeah, for me it's a slightly cheaper than a V0 off Ali. The cheapest V0 I can get is like $600 from Cybor. The build area is 140 by 140, so all Voron parts will print on this. It's of course ABS compatible. The bed, there's a couple options for the bed. I'm using a piece of glass right now, 150 by 150 piece of glass. A tiny M bed will fit. It's the same size. You would just change the holes a little bit. If this printer gets popular, I would like to see kits for this printer for sure. It's a really clean, stout looking printer. I love the look of it with these corner brackets. I think it looks really nice. Let me upload my new benchy here and we'll see what this can do. So Bambu Hotend heats up incredibly fast as well. Full-size Panda is probably going to happen after Defiant, I think. It'll be really, really similar to this, except for the fact that it'll be a full 2020 frame. This isn't fully 2020, it's a hybrid. So there's no bottom 2020 extrusions, if you see. The bottom is 3D printed. There's just some braced extrusions here on the sides, and then one in the back. I would really like this to become very popular. It's an awesome little printer. Unfortunately, the bed frame is larger. The bed frame and some of these top panels are 200 millimeters. So you will need at least an Ender 3 to print this. $450 USD. You can find it, it's pinned at the top, J Cannon. So the V-wheels on the bed are spring-loaded. There are springs in the front here. These are just bed springs so that the bed has the correct tension at all times. Hopefully I got my settings correctly. And it will have an LED on the top. I didn't have time to finish that. It'll probably be done today. I'm still printing a few parts. I'm not too familiar with the Neptune 2, but this should definitely beat the Neptune in speed, 100%. And I'm going to try to illuminate this a little bit better for you guys, because yeah, this is running Klipper for sure. So if you're comparing this to the Neptune price-wise, it's impossible to compare that only because it's a totally different printer. Yeah, if you want a large DIY printer, then build like a FormBot, something like that for sure. This is meant to be a very customizable DIY 3D printer for the size. And then right now I'm using one cooling fan. Yes, this is 100% capable to print ABS, all sorts of different materials, because the X1 Hotend is all metal, of course. You can print basically any materials that the Bambu can print. I'm using genuine Bambu X1 Hotends on this. Yeah, right now the Rook 2020 Scalable is a great option for sure. Don't worry, I'm making a full-size version of this printer, which will be 250 by 250. Next entry seems travel limited. They do need to come out that far to support the bearings. It's not really travel limited too much. I've kind of maximized it as far as the linear rail will go. White thing wobbling back and forth. Oh, maybe you're seeing the Bowden tube at the top. My table is wobbling, of course. Yeah, the frame is super strong. Yeah, this is going to be there will be a full-size Panda version, absolutely. I probably could print a little bit hotter for this speed, but we'll see if this top layer finishes. Oh, this is, I don't even know what this is. It's like a crystal. It shows how wobbly my table is, though. This desk is super wobbly. Yes, I do have input shaping. I'll share some graphs for input shaping. Input shaping is a bit hard to do on this printer because of the side panels. They do vibrate, of course. So, I mean, input shaping is like over 20K XL, but the graphs do look weird. I use Big Tree Tech controller boards for the most part. SKR Mini E3 is for this one, but yeah, the Pico is really cheap. A Pico would work well. The back panel, I made it so that it has 4 mounting holes that are generic, so you can make a mounting board for any main board you'd like. I just don't like the Pico's connector orientation. On this printer it'll be totally fine because it's on the back and there's nothing surrounding it, but on a printer where it's enclosed in the bottom, the connectors go straight out and I don't like that. Yeah, I was inspired by a couple different printers, and obviously I took everything I learned from the Rook and everything I want to put into the Panda. This is a mini Panda. It's very similar to what the Panda is going to be. Yeah, it's just to save on material. The Meanwell's right here. I just didn't want to print that much material that thick. It's just a waste. Yeah, Manjaro, you could run Input Shaper without the panels, of course, or yeah, you could do some dampening, soundproofing foam or something, or like, yeah, double-sided foam, something like that. It's not super more, there's not a huge much more involvement than the Rook. You do have to tap, these right now. So there are M5 by 16 that go in the top. You do need to tap these 4 corner extrusions. However, that being said, you can easily mod that so you don't need to tap them. You could just move the bolts over to the sides here and not tap the extrusion if you want to. But my version does have, I just bought a tap on Amazon, I put it in my drill and I tapped them. Very, very easy. That's really the only manufacturing kind of thing you need to do. These verticals are 300 and these are 200. I haven't reached the max yet. I'm at 250 millimeters a second and 20,000 acceleration right now, and I've not hit the maximum yet. And the print quality of this printer is phenomenal. This is a 18-minute benchy, and it's incredible how nice and clean this is. This benchy is running 20,000 Excel and 250 for pretty much everything except outer walls. Yeah, I'm not super up on the Neptune 4. Is the Neptune 4 Klipper compatible? Does it have input shaping and that type of thing? Yeah, on camera it looks, it does kind of look pretty slow. And I mean, it depends on the size too. We're running, so right now the maximum flow we're hitting is around 25 millimeters per second squared. We're at 9 minutes and we're at 52%. And we are running at 20,000 acceleration for most of the features. Yeah, for sure. Most printers will be limited by flow, definitely. Yeah, this is much quieter than a King Room printer, and it's faster too. This is 450 USD, roughly, depending on what parts you might have on hand already. Okay, Darktop, the Neptune 4 has Klipper and input shaping. That's awesome. Thanks, Kenrod, for dropping by. Yeah, I'm very, very excited to see what people will do with this printer. Again, this is a beta still. If you want to print this right now, this bed is not heated. I don't have a 140 by 140 heater yet. I'm going to order one. Yeah, Joe, some of the features on this are hitting 25 millimeters per squared flow. Really depends. I'm still wanting to push this faster. Actually, can I zoom in a little bit more for you guys? See if it'll zoom in a bit there. And yeah, this can go much faster, of course. Welcome, Hacks. This is just, like, I finished the printer like 2 days ago. There's a lot more to do on tuning and finding the limit of the printer. I don't know about the clone X1s. I'm using a genuine X1 because shipping's faster than Ali and they have warehouses all over the world. Sorry, Sean, what was your question? I didn't see it. Oh, can anyone help with Rook software loading, etc.? You can definitely ask in the Klipper channel on Discord, and there'll be plenty of people there that are willing to help you for sure. It's an X1, Bambu X1, genuine Bambu X1 Hotend. I ordered these right from Bambu. Yeah, and I'll try to, can I show you the, there. That's not gonna focus on the extruder. It's going too crazy. Dark Tap, is it a Cartesian printer? Is it a bed slinger, or is it Core XY? Oh, awesome. Yeah, the clones, I mean, again, the clones are the same price as the genuine version, so yeah, pick whichever one you like and go for it. They're the best value I can find. I don't, it's right on the side. JR35. It's right on the right hand side. It mounts on the side on this Hotend. So currently we are at 80% and it's 14 minutes. And you can see the quality of the bench already. I've not had any ringing or anything like that, and I have run input shaper on this already. You can see how stable the Z is. There's no wobbling or anything like that. Oh hey Zombie, I didn't see you, welcome. This is Panda Mini. Linear rods on Y and MGN9C on X. There's only one linear rail on this whole printer. Oh, there's no part cooling on the tool head at all. It has dual. This is the part cooling. This goes on the side. I'll zoom out a little bit. So the part cooling is dual 120 millimeter fans on each side. So this will actually go on this side. I just printed the other duct. It's just finished off my X1. Oh hey, yeah, that would be really neat if all the parts for Panda could fit on this printer. And actually, that is very possible. I just don't know about the panels. I want Panda to have printed side panels just because there's going to be no kits right out of the gates, and I want people to be able to build Panda without needing a laser cutter. Yeah, the tool head is crazy light and very easy to build. Hey Inert, both printers are awesome. I really like the 100. Matt's on on my Discord as well, and yeah. Oh yeah, nice Zombie. I'm going to be building a Rook MK1 soon as well. Yeah, cooling's only at 50% right now. The printer's very quiet. Again, I wish OEM printers could be this quiet. But I like to make my printers very quiet. Yeah, they're actually, honestly, 120 millimeter fans are quite quiet. They move a lot of air at like a slow speed, so I don't find them noisy at all. I can tolerate them. Yeah, this will be a little bit more complicated than building a Rook, of course, but it's not too bad at all. And there we go. So that was officially a 16-minute benchy. Let's check history. Yeah, print time 16 minutes and 7 seconds for that benchy. I recommend the GDS Time ball bearing 120 millimeter fans. They're on the bill of materials for Panda if you check out the link pinned in the top. Yeah, if you have a 200 millimeter MGN 12, I don't think it'd be too difficult to modify that. It'd be the width that I'd be concerned about, like the carriage width. Um, yeah, this printer was designed around remote cooling. Right out of the gate, I knew it was going to be remotely cooled. Yeah, I should be able to bump these numbers up still quite a bit. I'm still experimenting with the limit of this printer. I will be adding a Panda Mini Discord channel right away. Thanks for reminding me, 4D Spice. Definitely, this is out now, and I want people to talk about it and start building and give me feedback. This is a beta printer for sure. Yeah, the top is magnetic too. Yeah, I wish I could give a better view here. Let me take my phone off here. Hopefully. So you can see the top here has an acrylic picture frame and it's magnetic. You can take this off to do maintenance on the printer and all that kind of stuff. Sorry for moving the camera around all stupid like. And let's pop this off. So this is pretty fast. So this is a 16-minute benchy and I need the other fan. So here's an 18-minute benchy and here's a 16-minute benchy. So once I add the other fan, we can definitely go faster than that for sure. Yeah, I'm hoping to just make 2 hinges and then there'll be a panel that one panel in 4 parts that will just swing open. Again, using picture frames. I have some acrylic picture frames here. So here's an acrylic panel from Amazon. These are like $15 for 5 of them or something. So there'll be a acrylic sheet that goes here for the door, of course. Yeah, dark tap. Oh yeah, you need a good base and stuff like that to print fast. MKS Skipper, I've seen that board. I totally forget why. I thought there was a reason I didn't like it. I don't know if it was price or something like that. Or is it the same price as a Manta, M4P or M8P? I'm sure you could buy them at IKEA. They're just acrylic picture frame panels. They're readily available on Amazon. They're hard to find on Ali, but Amazon they're pretty easy. Yeah, this is only one. Remember, there's 2 of these. There's one for the other side, so there'll be another 120 millimeter fan on the other side. The cooling in this printer is massively overkill. Well, the Skipper lacks Wi-Fi, really. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, this is a. I haven't even dialed in input shaping or anything like that, but layer stacking on this printer is really, really nice. I have printed a vase or whatever. This is like a maximum Z vase. Very, very fast print. Yeah, if you can run a LAN cable for sure, that's not a big deal, not having Wi-Fi. I would like to see some crazy benchy. Again, I'm not really hitting the limit of the hot end yet. I can up the temp still and I can go faster. So see if I zoom out a little bit. But yeah, the printer is definitely made to be very, very compact, but very stout. The frame is incredibly rigid. My most rigid printer for sure. And like I say, full-size Panda will be very close to this. I don't know if the full-size Panda will have remote cooling. I am going to use the Dragon Burner tool head on Panda, on the full-size Panda, so that people can use different hot ends and extruders if they want to, but maybe remote cooling would be an option. And yeah, of course, this printer's all been printed out in ABS. So here's the side panels for the other side. So, you know, those will go over there. Yeah, MKS boards do seem to be like the OEM default. I think a lot of printer manufacturers use MKS variants. I'll just like try to turn this to the side so you can get more of a view on the side here. See if I can put a light on it as well so you can get a better view. So these front wheels are spring loaded and it has dual lead screws, 150mm lead screws. I don't like ABS Mitsubishi, but it's a necessity on this printer if you're wanting to enclose it. This printer could be printed in PLA, of course. However, these panels are made for ABS. You're going to run into some issues with the panels. So for the cooling, you are just going to have to design some mounts to mount the fans. But I don't see why you can't make this out of PLA if you're just printing PLA on it. (804), this is Panda Mini, my new compact high-performance 3D printer. You can find the link to Printables at the top. And I did incorporate 45mm long bearings so that they're using the longer, much more stable bearings for Y. Definitely seems to help with rigidity and print quality for sure. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with the aesthetic of this printer. It's right now, it's my favorite printer for sure. And actually, while we're talking, I'm going to create a new channel on Discord. So let's go here, text channel, Panda Mini. So let's make that. Put it under Fortress, and let's link to Printables. So there is a channel on Discord officially right now for Panda Mini. Yeah, V-wheels are cheap too, really cheap. Let me see if I can put in some. Just pop in there. And I will put the step file on Printables here right after stream. I just want to clean a couple things up first. Thanks, 804. Yeah, 4D Spice. I've wanted to use V wheels for a Z for a really long time. Like when I was designing Simple Core, I had the idea. These are 8 millimeter rods on Y. Panda, full size Panda might use 10. I don't know yet. I know Bambu uses 8 millimeters for that size just fine. Calvino, yeah, I thought about a belted Z. There's not very much room right here because of the power supply is like right next to the stepper motor. So tilting the stepper, there might not be a bunch of room left, and there's nowhere to attach the belt at the top because it hits the Y. Yeah, and I built a V-King. The V-King was my first DIY printer, and it used V-wheels for the bed. Yeah, I love Delta printers. They're so fun to watch. No, this printer is very quiet. I can stand to hear this print. Um, for most prints on this, you can print only at 25% cooling, and it's nice and quiet to print. Yeah, the Z doesn't move fast enough for V wheels to be a problem. They're a perfect solution for Z. I think linear rails are overkill for Z and X, or Z and Y. Bambu's proven that you don't need linear rails. Oh yeah, the tensioning system on this is very, very special. It's EVA style. Can I slide this forward? So I designed compact little sliders for the back of the tool head for belt tensioning. This has the best belt tensioning on any printer I've ever made. I wish I could show you like a really good example of the belt tensioner. Maybe I could share my screen or something and do that. Let me see if I can go into Fusion here. The belt tensioning is really, really awesome on this. Let's just get rid of that. Get rid of the panels, frame, electronics, layers. I'll try to show the belt tensioning. Let's go into OBS. Let's add Fusion. I'll see if I can share my screen for you guys so you can see. Window capture. Okay. Hopefully you can see my Fusion 360. There we go. So the belt tensioning is inspired by EVA. I made some EVA carriages, and they actually go into slots. So if I can get rid of a couple things here, let's go into the tool head. Let's get rid of this. So you can see here the slider. It uses a 40 millimeter M3 and it pulls the belt tight. So really, really nice belt tensioning. There's no tensioning on the motors or anything weird like that or on idlers. It's done right on the tool head and it works perfectly. Yes, the BOM is in the Printables link at the top. And again, remember, the BOM, the bill of materials, is a beta bill of materials. I have not tested any of the parts on the BOM. Everything I bought was on Amazon because I wanted to build this printer fast and I didn't want to wait for AliExpress. Yeah, if anyone wants to build this printer, you're essentially going to be a beta tester, so feel free to DM me and give me suggestions on improvements. I'm already very happy with the printer so far, but there's room for improvement, I'm sure. And then, of course, there's another tensioner at the bottom here. I modeled all the belts in CAD. So you can see the belt path. It's super easy to run belts on this printer. You can see the X1 Hotend there as well. Hey, Major Gaming Geek, welcome. But yeah, I'm very curious to see people building this printer and giving me feedback. This is going to be something a little bit different. I'm not moving on to another printer until this is released, like officially. Right now it's beta, so I'm going to make a couple YouTube videos on this, and I'm just going to, this is my focus right now, is this printer. So you're going to see YouTube content on this printer. I'm going to do a build tips video on this printer and a lot of that stuff. I'm not moving on to Defiant until this is what I call an actual release build. So I'm focusing on this until it's out of beta. So that's the tensioner there for you guys. Flip back to the printer so you can see it again. But yeah, the printer is running really, really well. It's really smooth. The gantry is very smooth. It's harder to build than a Rook, but I don't think it's as hard to build as a V0. There's a couple things you need to pay attention to. You can't put these idlers in until you mount the parts onto the frame because there are M5 bolts that go in through here. So I am going to do a build tips video on this printer coming up very soon. I'll do an announcement video on YouTube showing it off, and then I'll even try to get a faster print, but I want to get an LED running on this printer first. So there's going to be an LED strip, so 8 LEDs are going to go basically right up here so that you'll have much better view. It's just 2 screws. I wish I had better lighting. I'm going to see if I can get a light set up for you guys. I do have a light here, so we'll see if we can actually get something set up. It's not so dark. Yeah, the frame is super stout. All right, let's see if I can get a light here for you guys. There we go. Let's turn this down a little bit. So, hopefully that's a bit better. Yeah, this is Mint Bambu ABS. I don't really recommend Bambu Filament. I bought some silver ABS and it sucked. Yeah, it's Bambu Mint. The Mint prints really fine. The silver Bambu ABS sucks. Rotate the x-axis 45 degrees. No, I've not tried that at all. And yeah, you can get a better view of the print quality of the benchies, hopefully. Printer prints very, very nice. Yeah, Panda, I don't know. I had the name Panda for a really long time. At the moment, there's only the X1 bamboo style hot end. The hot end, though, should be very easy to mod. I'm almost certain there will be mods for different type of hot ends, possibly like a CR10 style ceramic hot end, like that what we use on the rooks. Those would be an okay option, but unless you already have a hot end lying around, I really recommend going to an X1, a bamboo style hot end. They're very cheap. Um, Filament wise, so my mint filament I'm almost out of. So one spool of this primary color, and then I have some eSun black ABS, and I've barely used it. So it's like a little over one spool to print this. Right now, this is my preferred extruder. Is the VZ Extrudort mellow version, and the bamboo hot end is my absolute preferred combo. Yeah, and we can switch back over to CAD here, and I can take away some of the parts here so you can see. So here's how the bamboo hot end mounts, just 2 bolts. The extruder is most of the cost actually. It's $100 Canadian for that extruder. It's not cheap, but it's probably the highest quality extruder I've ever used. You could definitely save some money if you use sail fin on this. If you just modified the top part for sail fin, you could probably use sail fin. There's definitely some savings to be had with the bill of materials for sure. Yeah, 140 beds are a little bit tricky, Major Gamer Geek. However, you should be able to use a tiny M bed or a 150 piece of glass. I'm just using a 150 piece of glass. I'm going to order a silicone heater for it. Which Voron extruder are you talking about, Dark Trap? I'm not a huge fan of printed extruders anymore, but it should be pretty easy to modify this for Sailfin or Sherpa Mini. Orbiter 2 is pretty bulky, JR35. I can't remember which side the motor's on. It should be okay, but it is a kind of a bulky extruder. Fusion 360 is just kind of what I transitioned to. It's okay. Yes, I'm using a 150 glass bed right now. And a tiny embed should again fit. So if I turn on the Z here, you can see this is a 150 bed. This would be a great excuse. The bamboo hot ends are absolute favorite. The Voron M4 is not really suitable that much for direct drive. Yeah, Dark Tap. There's definitely a lot to learn for sure with DIY printers. There's so many options and choices and stuff like that, definitely. Tiny Embed, it's $35. It's actually, honestly, it's the same price as probably a glass version. So I found a tiny embed on AliExpress for $35. I think it's in my cart still. I'll put it on the Discord. Yeah, I'm gonna put the CAD up right after the stream. I just need to export the step file and clean a couple names up and stuff. Yeah, I think the glass bed, Joe, is like $25 off Amazon, and then you would need the heater. The Tiny M is $35, so it's like $10 difference, and then you'd get a metal bed with the Tiny M one. But I'm using a glass bed. That's why I have these bed pads here and VHB tape, of course, my go-to. But a 140 millimeter silicone heater will fit underneath that. That's like the only thing I need to finish or need to order for this printer is the silicone heater. This is just build tack. It's super sticky though. It's perfect for PLA. And the end stop is down here at the bottom. In my opinion, as long as the belts are symmetrical and they're supporting the top and bottom of your tool head, it's totally fine. Bondtech extruders are very expensive. I mean, the Hextruder is very expensive too, but they're all right. I don't mind the LGX Lite because it's symmetrical, which I really like. They're great for Delta printers. So, Jacob, like you're meaning blind joints versus the corner brackets. The corner brackets don't take any extra work on the user. I don't like to have a lot of post processing that people need to do. You do need to tap the M5 holes in these extrusions, but I don't want people to have to do a lot of drilling and tapping of everything. You can use blind joints if you want on this printer, though. It'll work totally fine if you want to use blind joints. I'm not even using screw adjust because the steppers aren't independent. It's just a simple SKR board, just an SKR Mini. No auto bed leveling and no screw adjust at all. Dark Trap, I just build more printers with my printers. It's just a standard Omron mechanical end stop, nothing fancy. I just manually set them with a caliper on each side. I turn them till they were level, and I've never had the steppers go out of sync. The original Rook was the same. I never had any issues. I'm not sure what you mean, Dark Trap. Yeah, Hakan, I'm assuming someone will make a mod for a sail fin so you can use just a clone BMG gear set. Yes, I designed the entire printer from scratch. All my printers are designed from scratch. Some of them use DIY tool heads like Eva or Stealth Burner or stuff like that, but this one's 100% all designed by myself. It was around 2 months I spent making this printer. And like I say, I'm not moving on to another printer until this is out of beta. So the more people that are building, the better it is, because we can make this printer perfect. I've already done a lot of fixes that are already on Printables, like everything's kind of been fixed, so there's not a whole lot I see having needing to be changed, but I want to make sure some people build this first. 2020 corner parts that go inside the channel. Yeah, I've used those on the Rook 2020, the three-way corner. They're okay. They're not as stiff as these. I bought these ones a really long time ago. I don't think they have 2 packs, but they are GDS time ball bearing blower motors. I think I got them off Amazon, and I forget if Amazon or Ali is cheaper. I don't remember. They're a good chunk of the price too. They're on AliExpress. They're $20 a piece, so that's $40 on the price of the printer already. And I do have a basic screw count on the bill of materials as well. So again, if anyone is building this printer, give me feedback on screw count for sure. This is called Panda Mini. Yeah, I mean, I changed a lot of this printer as I went along. This used to be much different. I'll actually see if I can show you something that inspired this printer, if I can find where I put it. I don't remember where I put the... So Minia A is a printer that inspired this. Welcome, Lawrence. Sorry, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. So I was inspired by this printer a little bit, and this is a really, really cool printer. There's not a whole lot of information about it. I'll see if I can get it on screen. So I didn't make this. This is the Mini A. So I was inspired by this printer. It's a really cool printer, but it is very complicated. Some of the printer was inspired from this, but I changed a whole lot of it. Joe, you can help me to make sure the screw count is proper. Yeah, the Panda, full-size Panda will have a very similar spec to this. However, I think it's going to use a Voron Trident bed, a 250 Trident bed, is the idea. But it's going to be very similar to this. And it will be a fully 2020 frame. So yeah, this printer here, it has stepper motors on the front, and then it's belt-driven rods that go to the top. If anyone's curious about this printer, Google it on YouTube, the Mini A 3D printer. It's pretty cool. I was inspired by this printer a little bit, but I changed a lot of it after. Yeah, there's not much information about the Mini A. There's a couple of YouTube videos. If you Google it on YouTube, Mini A 3D printer, I think you'll find the designer. I think there's a GitHub too. But yeah, there's not very much information in English for the printer. It's very cool though. It's very cool. I was originally going to have the X and Y motors at the bottom and then have like brass rods going up to the top, but I thought there'd be too much loss of torque, so I scrapped that idea. But this printer did kind of start the idea of it. Yeah, Robert, the Panda should be able to support that bed too. It should be able to support like a Trident bed or an Ender size bed. It's going to have a 2020 frame, so you should be able to use all sorts of different types of beds. Yeah, it's got some custom carbon plates and stuff like that. It's a beautiful printer. It's a really, really cool printer for sure. And then, of course, I obviously wanted to test out some ideas for Panda, and what better way to just make a small version of it. Could we make a 3D printer 250 millimeter speed really quiet? Yeah, this printer prints at 250 and it's very quiet compared to other printers for sure. Yes, I always use standard length 2020s. You will never cut 2020 extrusions with my designs. I don't use custom sizes. So I always make them. So if we go into the frame, these are 200 millimeters and these are 300 millimeters. Also makes the printer really scalable too. And yeah, you can kind of see the Z end stop right here. If I turn on the electronics, I don't remember if I moved anything around, but so here's a better view of the back. This printer uses a lot of bearings. Because I'm wrapping the belts around the 2020 extrusion, it uses 32 bearings total. I just like the V-slot rollers are guided by the extrusion. Most of the time your extrusion is going to be perfectly straight, right? That's why I think it makes a lot of sense for the Z. And yeah, this printer is very, very... I tried to make it as efficient as possible for space. So again, it's the same size as a Voron V0, but it has a bigger build area. And it uses 2020 extrusions, not 1515 extrusions. So more standard parts on this printer than a V0. Hey there, welcome, such heroic nonsense. We're looking at the Panda Mini. So that guy. I'll just switch the camera view so anyone who's just joined can see it. Yeah, this is obviously the first Panda Mini in the wild, and files are live. I'll upload the step file here right after stream. I don't know, we can maybe print a... Let's see if I can get this. Build tack is really, really sticky, so it can be a little bit tricky to get this off. I don't have a scraper, of course. Not one that's easily accessible anyways. We can print let's get another print going here. Let's print a Cali Dragon. So let's go calibration, Cali Dragon. And I want to up the cooling to 70% for the ears. So this is apparently going to be pretty quick. Kick off another print for you guys here. Cali Dragon, let's get that going. So we'll do another print here. Yeah, Marcus, or Marius, I will start a print right now for you. The frame is crazy stiff. It's the stiffest printer I've made. Absolutely. Yes, the full-size Panda, I do think it's going to use V-wheels for the Z and linear rods for the Y and an MGN 12 for X. But it's going to use Dragon Burner tool head just to make it a bit more compatible with all sorts of tool hot ends and extruders. Hey Kenny, welcome. From Quebec. Awesome. More Canadians. It's definitely a bit more money than the Rook 2020. The frame is an extra $100. Well, yeah, the frame's more money because of these corner plates. Meanwhile, 200 are not cheap. That's an expense. It has a very expensive extruder. So it's $450 US, this printer. Thanks, Dark Trap, for joining. So we're printing a Cali Dragon right now. Oh, awesome, from France. That's awesome. Where do you think it would be to mod Clicky? Clicky's not... there's really no room. There might be some room in the back for a Clicky dock. It's probably not super necessary, though. And let's see if I can zoom in and actually give you guys a better view of like the print. Does this work? Yeah. Awesome. Welcome from Portugal. And welcome more people from France. Yeah, $450 US is not bad. I don't think. It's a small printer, but it's very usable. It's very quick. I'm still printing really slow on the outer walls, right? Just to get the maximum print quality possible, but still be very fast. Like I say, I definitely can go much faster. We could do a roller cube after, Ian, for sure. I always forget about the roller cube for some reason. Yeah, I have to upload the step file. I will upload that after the stream for sure. Yeah, travel speed is 300, I think I have set to this. It's a very small printer, so it's not traveling a lot, but I have upped the travel speed like crazy. And actually, let's raise the light so you can actually see the print. There we go. Yes, this is running at 70% cooling, and it's very quiet. Kingroon can cry all they want because this is way quieter. And I wonder if I can just knock down the lighting a little bit more. Just not so bright. This is the VZ Hextrudort by Mellow. This guy. It's not cheap, but it's amazing. Absolutely amazing extruder. And this model has a lot of fine details, so it doesn't look that fast, but we are printing quite fast. Zoom in a bit more even. It's like, yep, X1, Bambu X1 Hotend. Yeah, I basically just got to mount the panels. This side is all printed already. I just got to mount it. I just didn't have time. When I do the YouTube video for this printer, it'll be fully assembled with the side panel and an LED light at the front and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's running Klipper for sure. You can mount the Pi on the back. I'm using a laptop. I always use a laptop to run my printers on Klipper because I can run 4 or 5 or 6 printers off one laptop. And I have an old X1 laptop. It's just, doesn't matter what printer I build, I always have a Klipper machine ready to go. So I like that. Chinmay, welcome. Thanks for joining the stream. Hopefully I didn't butcher your username. Yeah, I'll actually, I will announce on Discord when the step file is live. It should be live right after this stream. I just need to rename a couple things. Yeah, it's like a 4 gig RAM, like OG ThinkPad X1. It's really awesome. So many X1s, yeah. Lenovo ThinkPad X1 and Bambu X1 Hotend. Yeah, 8 or 10. Either the 8 or 10 tooth are both fully compatible with the extruder. What CPU does your Sony Vaio have? Klipper will run on like Celerons, Atom processors, and they're all way more powerful than a Pi. Yeah, I build so many printers, it just makes sense to run everything off a laptop. Hey Printer Prawn, welcome, welcome. Awesome. Oh, that's great. I'm glad I can inspire more people design printers for sure. So we are at 60% and this is 7 minutes. I'll see if I can add another Klipper, another screen so you guys can see the so hopefully you can see the Klipper window. What happened here? Oh. Oops. I'll leave the Klipper window up there for you so you can kind of see the speeds. It's a small model, so I can't reach the full 250 for everything, but you can see the flow and stuff like that for just a little while. If I can bring this out and put it over here. No worries, Wannabe Farmer. I hope to inspire people and definitely release a lot of free designs and help people just print as much as they can and have fun. Doesn't matter what printer you're building, just have fun, you know? Yeah, cheap mini PCs, awesome for Klipper. Yeah, old Android phones work too. Yes, it is using sensorless homing on X and Y. And we are running cooling at 70% and just one side right now. There is another side. I just have to mount it. It's printed, I just have to kind of bolt it on type deal. But it's very quiet printer. Very quiet. It's 140 by 140. The full-size Panda will be 250 by 250. But I do want to focus on Defiant. Once this is released, like I say, I'm going to be focusing solely on this printer right now. All my YouTube content will be primarily on this. I'm not designing another printer until this is released fully. Right now it is beta. I imagine the horns will be a little bit wonky just because we only have one cooling side. And we are printing really quick. Yeah, I mean, the Bambu X1 uses linear rods, and it's a great benchmark. I think it's proven that you don't need linear rails for everything. I think linear rails are overkill for most 3D printer uses. Yeah. We are printing a little fast for the horns, so they'll be a little messed up, but... And we're done. So that was officially a 10-minute Cali Dragon. Oh, hey, welcome, Techie. See if I can get this off the bed. Build tack is crazy. So you can see if it'll focus there, I don't know. I mean, other than a little bit of cooling issue there because we're only running one fan, this is a 10-minute Cali Dragon at 0.25 layer height. It's really tight, William. There's not a lot of room, but you could maybe have auto bed leveling on the back of the tool head. There is a little bit of room. You can see my input shaper, my 5-sec input shaper on the back. I also have a bed probe that I'm testing that's very tiny, which would work too. This printer is made for heated bed. I just didn't have a heater. So it's 150 piece of glass right now, and there'd be a 140 millimeter heater, which I'm going to order. Just a silicone heater. So let's get a roller cube going. So clear this. Let's add a roller cube here. So this roller cube says 9 minutes in the slicer. It'll probably be like 12, I bet, in actual printing. Roller cube. So let's take this out of here. Let's get this cleaned up. This build tack is crazy good. So here's a roller cube we're going to start to print. So any chance having 180 size? Maybe eventually. I want to do a 250 by 250 size. And then, yeah, maybe there'll be a 180 size version. Again, a Prusa mini bed version of this would be really cool. Yes, an IR bed sensor would fit, Joe, for sure. It's just a 0.4 Bambu Hotend. And I'm limiting the Hotend to 60% because it's so fast. It's hard to PID tune this bed it's hard to PID tune the Hotend because it's so powerful. It's like 50 watts, and I'm limiting it to 60% power because it's so fast. Even my wiring is not properly zip tied and constrained, but Hey, Trail Features, welcome. You can get a better idea of the speed now. Yeah, I still have to make an Orca profile for this. I'm lazy and I'm just using Cura because I had the settings already kind of dialed in. So this week I got to make an Orca profile for it. And yeah, my table is shaking now because this is ripping pretty good. Again, we're at 70% cooling on one side only. Yeah, I like these little desktop size printers. They're great for just prototyping stuff real fast. Yeah, it's totally rigid enough just as its own floating like this. The full-size Panda will be floating too probably, but it'll use an MGN 12 just to make sure it's really beefy. And I haven't really tuned this printer a lot. I'm running like 0.2 pressure advance, and I haven't even made sure that's correct. I just threw that number in there because I knew it would be close for direct drive, but I've just sent it really. There's not a whole lot of tuning on this. Again, we can go to, I wonder if I can show the Klipper scene. Klipper. I don't know if, that's not what I want to show. That's not what I wanted to show. They're 8mm rods on Y. Yeah, exactly. I only print functional parts anyways, and they fit on pretty much any of my printers. Oh, action figures and stuff. Stefu. Most printers will be capable of printing that. I honestly would recommend a Bambu printer, like a P1P or something like that, because you can print action figures in PLA. That'd be a great option. Check out Toymaker 3D. He's got a lot of awesome figures. Yeah, DIY hobby printers are really still pushing the envelope for sure. Oh, so you have a pressed on pulley. You'd have to get some sort of puller, or if you can get like a prying device in between the stepper and the pulley and pry it up, but you might damage the bearing on the pulley or on the stepper, unfortunately. I haven't actually encountered a stepper with a pulley that's press fit. Yeah, Trail Features is right. It depends on your budget, Stefu. So I don't actually notice any noise with this ball bearing. IGES bearings are really hard to get smooth. I just don't like them. I've tried so many times. Yeah, resin printer would be really good for high quality, but smelly, messy, and I don't like it. Yeah, I think AMU or an MMU is too complicated. I don't think I'd enjoy making one. Yeah, you could maybe cut the pulley off with a Dremel too. This was the belt path that would fit for this printer. There are a lot of size constraints on this printer, so the belts are very spaced out upper and lower, and I wanted to make sure that they were wider so that they grabbed the tool head better, I guess, if that makes sense, so that it could support the weight of the extruder at the top. I wanted to make a wide belt, and we have the linear rails in the middle, so I can't run the belts very close together because of the size constraints. But yeah, this is actually printing really well. We're at 50% and 7 minutes. This is the top tier of all of my small printers. So this is higher tier than Rook 2020, Evo. This is the top of my small type of printers, and the full-size version of this will replace Simple Core. You can definitely see the travel speed's much better on this print. It's definitely taking advantage. I think it is hitting the 300 millimeter a second travel on this print. Still 106 concurrent viewers. I appreciate everyone tuning in. So yeah, the full-size version will be a 250 by 250 bed. So Trident bed will be the spec probably, but an Ender 3 bed should still fit fine. It will use a 2020 bed frame, so there should be options for people, definitely. I don't know if the bed on the full-size version will use lead screws or belted Z yet. I'm curious. This is actually Sunlu Meta PLA. I'm doing kind of a review on it. It seems to flow very nice. Yeah, even 102 likes. Appreciate it, everyone. Yeah, if you ever have questions, J Maxi, our Discord has an awesome Klipper channel, if you're ever curious. It's daunting the first time, but once you do it once, it demystifies it a lot. Oh, Martin, awesome. Great to see you building a Rook MK1. That's great. Yeah, other than a little bit of issue there with the L, this print's looking really nice. Yeah, belted Z is easier to assemble and it's cheaper because you don't have to buy linear rods and couplers and stuff. You already have the belts from the X and Y. So it does make sense, but then you have bed drop to worry about, so then you need to use a geared stepper or some sort of geared Z. This version, the prototype doesn't have the heater on it yet. I have to order the heater. But it's just a silicone heater that attaches to the glass, or you can attach it to the tiny embed. Oh, this camera's not liking the tool head. Can I zoom out just a little bit to help it out? There we go. Yes, the Rook MK1 is a great printer to build for a beginner. Yeah, sorry about that. I zoomed out a little bit so it's a bit better for you. The Rook is definitely more beginner friendly and cheaper build, certainly. So that was a 10-minute print, a 10-minute Rolocube. And I think it printed pretty well. We're not printing for quality, of course. But you can see the prints. I don't see any ringing. We're only doing 2 walls, so some of the infill will show through, but that's a really nice Rolocube. Because Printer Prawn, because this doesn't have a bed sensor or auto bed leveling at all, you have to use springs so you can manually level it. Yeah, bed slingers can print really fast too. It's input shaper and extruders that really have advanced speed for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, that was a 10-minute Rolocube. I'm very happy with the speed. And we're not at the limits yet. Like, I'm not seeing any issues with hardware so far. We could definitely go faster, I'm sure. And then, yeah, these little M5 bolts here, you can use them to make the spring stiffer if you want. Yeah, and it's a small bed, right? It's a really tiny bed. It's only 150 by 150, so auto bed leveling is not super necessary. And there's very little room to mount. There's a little bit on the back here, but I'm using that as my accelerometer for input shaping. This is 450 USD, roughly 450 USD. I have a rough price on the bill of materials. I think it's a little bit higher, but it depends on where you order parts and what parts you have on hand and stuff like that. Yeah, Bambu Hotends, the shipping is really cheap. It's $8 to Canada. They have a Canada warehouse, US warehouse. They have warehouses in Europe. Pretty much anyone can get a Bambu Hotend right from their store, and it's very fast shipping. Almost at 120 viewers. I appreciate it, everyone. The aesthetics of this printer are my favorite. It's such a stout little printer. Omar, I would continue building the Rook. It's a good printer. You can always build this one after or choose something else. Yeah, exactly. 2020 extrusions will be much cheaper if you source them locally. You know, AliExpress doesn't have a great selection of 2020 extrusions with free shipping. It's difficult to find. I built this entire printer off Amazon parts because I just needed stuff like next day really fast. Like I say, the bill of materials on the Printables page is beta. I haven't tested a lot of those parts because I ordered everything off Amazon. I, of course, have ordered the Hextruder off Ali. I already had it, that type of thing. These are like cheapo motors, like these, the stepper motors that you see there. They're like just generic $20 stepper motors in a package of 2. They're not, they are not great at all. I would like to put some like LDO 9-degree steppers would be a huge improvement, I am sure. Bigfoot printing, the front Z wheels are spring tensioned. So there is a spring behind these, and it keeps the tension on the V-wheels. It works really well. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate you could check out the stream. Yeah, buying nuts and screws locally is much better. Buying packages, like a big package of screws, is definitely a lot cheaper. Yeah, an LGX light should fit because it is symmetrical. It should fit fine on this vast CNC. Yeah, I'm running 20K XL on this printer right now, and they're fine. It's just, yeah, I don't know if they cause like extra artifacts or that type of thing. It would be interesting to try some LDO like 9-degree steppers for X and Y, but these steppers work fine. And they keep the cost down. And again, for anyone just tuning in, I am using like Amazon acrylic picture frames for the transparent parts. This is one with the protective film still on. So the door will have one of these, of course. How many parts are in common with the Rook? There's not, I don't think there's any, to be honest. The linear rods are the same. They're 200 millimeter linear rods. I think that's it, truthfully. Pretty much everything on this printer is different. Bed frame screws for the V-wheel tensioners. Yes. Our bed frame bed springs. I'm using these springs. This is the same spring I'm using in the V-wheel tension. So yeah, just the same bed springs for the V-wheels. Yeah, and I always recommend if you're going to build like more printers than just one, order larger quantities, like 100 screws each, and then you always have extras and it makes your build cheaper. Oh yeah, for the OG original Rook, yeah, I do think the Z is the same. 150 lead screws, two of them, and couplers. Yeah, for the OG Rook, yeah, the Z will be very close. Yeah, and this is just acrylic panel with the protection still on. Hey Johnny, I will be updating my website with this, the Panda Mini and its specifications, but this is on the high end of my small printers. So this is the top tier Rook. This is called Panda Mini, of course, but it is the high performance. This is my most high performance small printer. Hey, welcome. Yeah, the door is going to cover a lot of these, so you might not be able to use a lot. But if you're printing like one for just for PLA, then that would be okay. Oh yeah, the OG Rook did use a 120 millimeter fan. It's actually the same fan. These are the same fans from my original Rook. I still have them. I think I got a really good deal on these on Amazon. I think these were, yeah, it's really cheap on Amazon. I don't remember why I ordered two of them, but yeah, Ian, definitely join the beta team for this printer. Like I say, I'm not going on to the next printer until this is released. So I would like some feedback for beta builders for sure. And yeah, I wish I had a V0 to put right beside this because they're almost the same size. This just has a bigger build area and much better part cooling. One day I'll get a sponsor to send me a V0 kit so I can do like some comparisons. Oh yeah, most of the Arctic 120 millimeter fans though are 20 or 12 volts, and they're not blower style fans like these. I don't think, unless I don't have a micro center here, so I don't know. Yes, I definitely need to activate Windows. I almost never do, even though I can just go to SCD Key and buy one for $20. Yeah, X and Y, you can see one is hanging down and one is going up. Yeah, you could still make a PLA bracket to attach the fan. You still won't need panels. So you can definitely make a PLA version of this for sure. So you could definitely just make some brackets that go straight across to hold the fan. The ducting is held on by the fan itself, so you don't need the panels at all if you don't want to. And yeah, these corner plates here give this printer such a like really beefy look to it. Again, I love the aesthetic of this printer. It's my favorite. Zoom out a little bit more, you can kind of see. And I mean, I need to design some skirting for the front. I'm going to put the Panda logo here. I have an idea for the Panda logo. There's going to be some fine touches and things like that, but yeah. Of course, on Printables, there will be a mods collection for this printer. So I'm hoping it's very popular and there'll be a mods official mods collection just like for all my printers. It's similar to a V0, definitely in the form factor, but much more common parts for sure than a V0. And this is, I would say, much easier to build than a V0. Nothing wrong with a V0, just this is another choice. I really wanted a comparable printer to the V0 in my lineup, so. And I do hope that there are kits for this printer eventually, but it's still very new, and I'm curious to see how many people build one. And like I say, I'm committed to making sure this is perfect before we actually officially release. The tray, I just wanted to save filament, so it's just the Meanwhile power supply. I just cut it out so I didn't have to use as much. I wanted the print to be faster, and I wanted to not use as much PLA or ABS, I should say. So yeah, it's just a big cutout. Just to you could put tools down there if you wanted to, although they'll probably rattle around if this printer's really ripping. Yeah, I'm super like this bed is super stable. The V wheels being pressed out into the extrusions makes this such a stable bed for so cheap. And yeah, the V0 is awesome, but it's not. I'm not saying the V0 is like a crappy print or anything like that, but I do want to do like a video comparing the two and like have a V0 right beside this and show the differences and stuff. Because I get asked questions all the time, like even from the Rook, like what's better, the Rook or the V0? And like that's not an easy question to answer because they're both great. And a lot of the footprint was designed around this Meanwell 200. Again, with the Rook, there wasn't really a great place to put the power supply. I wanted to make sure that was 100% perfect on this printer. Yeah, it's definitely the V0 is an over-engineered printer for sure, certainly. Orbiter 2 might fit. It's pretty wide. They're a bulky extruder. Yeah, maybe I'll put like an LED. An LED strip would work too. I am gonna mount 8 LEDs like back here in behind this so that you can light up the build area. That's coming for sure. And I do have a really cool idea for a Panda logo that will kind of, I don't know if it'll go on the feet or in the center of this yet. I don't know. Oh no. Yeah, build the V0. I mean, it's still a fun build for sure. I have built a few V0s. The V0 is really for ABS only though. You have to mod it a lot to print PLA fast. Whereas this printer out of the box is meant to print PLA really fast. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, the V0 is definitely an ABS workhorse for sure. Oh, right here. Yeah. A really big Panda logo. That'd be actually really cool. I might have to do that. Yeah. No, the Rook was always meant to use an AC adapter, so the AC adapter would be like on the floor and just have a cable plugging in the back. This one I wanted all the weight, right? I wanted a lot of weight on the bottom, so two steppers on the bottom and a Meanwhile 200 on the bottom was the idea. It's very scalable. You do have to redesign the bed frame, of course, because they do mount to the frame, but all the other parts would be scalable up in 50 millimeter increments very easily. Yeah, Alexander, I spent a lot of time on belt tensioning. It's EVA style belt tensioning and it works super well. Yeah, I do have another fan. This is actually for the left side. I haven't finished it completely. So there is going to be another fan on the other side for sure. There is cooling on left and right, definitely. Yep, it's a very compact printer, and that's the size of the fan. Like I say, this is like 2 millimeter difference than a V0. And I can't believe like 112 viewers still. It's been almost 2 hours. I'll try to wrap the stream up here, and I want to kind of, like I say, I want to mount the final panel, get the cooling working, and make a YouTube video on it, and then I'm going to make a build tips video on this printer. And like I say, a lot of my YouTube content will be focused on Panda Mini right now, and until it's fully released. Yeah, I just want to basically thank everyone for tuning in. I wish I could. I do need to check on my kids. My wife is out right now, so I wanted to make sure that they're doing all good and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll probably make like maybe some sort of maybe a screen mount. There'll be mods for that, I am sure. Yeah, there definitely could be some optional parts on the bomb, like LCDs and more LEDs for logos and cool things like that. But I am super excited about the look of this printer, how it prints, the build, all that kind of stuff. I appreciate it, Sanshani. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks for tuning into the stream. What gears are you using to tie the two lead screws together? They're independent. Like they're controlled by the same driver. The SKR Mini has two Z ports. Yeah, they're just two stepper motors plugged into the back of the board on a single stepper. It's not independent at all, and they're not synced with the belt or anything. You can check out the bill of materials at the link in the pinned link at the top. Someone maybe. It's around 450 USD. The filament path is tight on this printer. There's just enough room. So there's a view for you. Wraps around and it just comes out the back here. Right at the top. There's just enough room. Thanks for tuning in, Ian. Yeah, I think I'm going to kind of wrap the stream up here. This was a blast. I want to do more streams. I just got to get a better setup in my office so I can do like regular live streams and builds with you guys and answer questions and chat and hang out. Yeah, thanks, Techie. Yeah, appreciate if any of you aren't subscribed, join the Discord. Oh, hey Tom, sorry, just wrapping up. You'll have to catch the VOD of the stream when it ends. This is my Panda Mini printer. You can find more info in the link at the top. Let me try to post a Discord link for you, Alexander. Let's just see here. Discord. See if I can generate a link for you guys who aren't on the Discord. Invite. Never new link. Here you go. Here is a link to my Discord. Definitely join if you haven't. Yeah, my standing desk is like a cheap hack together standing desk. And yeah, appreciate everyone coming to the live stream. It's always a blast hanging out, chatting with everybody. I will do more of these, and stay tuned for some YouTube videos on Panda Mini. This is what I'm working on currently, and I'm not doing anything else until this is fully released. And yeah, definitely stay tuned. This will be a 250 by 250 size printer soon. Thanks, everyone. I'll catch you all on the Discord.